for the fans in attendance here at the MGM Grand of Las Vegas and the millions watching around the world. Let's get ready to rumble! Introducing first, fighting out of the red corner, wearing yellow and white and officially weighing in at 134 pounds. His professional record is a perfect one, consisting of 27 bouts, 27 victories, including 20 knockouts and a world title, along with recognition as, pound for pound, one of the very best fighters in the world today. From Grand Rapids, Michigan, tonight the challenger, he's the reigning super featherweight world champion, pretty boy, Floyd Mayweather. And his opponent across the ring, fighting out of the blue corner, wearing white with red and green. And his official weight, 134.5 pounds. His professional record, in 50 bouts, he has posted 45 victories against 4 defeats with 1 draw. His explosive power has been displayed many times, as 41 of his victories have come by knockout. Originally from Embale, Sonora, now living and fighting out of Mexicali, Baja California, Mexico, presenting the reigning and defending WBC Lightweight Champion of the World, Jose Luis Castillo.
Chief seconds only. Chief seconds only. Chief seconds only. All right, gentlemen. This is the WBC Lightweight Title. You received your instructions in the dressing room. Again, I want to caution you. Any punches below this point are going to be deemed low. Any punches below this point are going to be deemed low. With that, are there any questions? Any questions, Chief Seconds? All right, remember, obey my commands. Protect yourselves at all times.
Keep them punches up.
We'll be watching it.
Keep them up.
Okay. Touch them up. Select the both of you.
Inside the ropes, Floyd Mayweather Jr. is brilliant. He has been especially dominant in his big fights against Gennaro Hernandez, Diego Corrales, and others. The only question here tonight is whether that 9-pound advantage coming into the ring that Castillo has will be meaningful.
You make a great point about Mayweather's big fights. Dominated Gennaro Hernandez en route to an 8th-round TKO. Knocked out Angel Manfredi in the 2nd round. And completely dominated Corrales in a fight that many predicted he would lose, knocking him down 6 times en route to the TKO victory.
The good thing about Mayweather, he's been a gym rat all his life. He's had to get in box with middleweights, light heavyweights, and the whole deal. So he fights better at a disadvantage.
You think his quickness is really so much of an advantage that the 9 pounds doesn't mean that much?
No, I don't know about his quickness, but the 9 pounds doesn't mean anything. This guy's been around the gym a long time, and his dad's family put him in the ring with any fighter. But if he can find some reason to just go into himself and rally, he can fight. Sometimes the weight advantage could be just that.
Here in the first minute of the fight, Mayweather establishes his superiority in hand speed. No surprise there. Blindingly fast combinations when he gets going. Castillo will hope to find a way to get inside and land something big. Probably an uppercut against Floyd.
There you have Floyd diving in with those leaping hooks. This is the way you hurt your hand. You got to stay right with the basics if you want to protect your hand. The crowd seemed to be equally divided, one on one side and the other.
And you hear a chanting of USA as American fans here take up the chant to support Mayweather against Mexican fans who were chanting for Castillo.
It was ever thus. My guys against your guys.
You see how Castillo likes to come down and then up with his hard punches.
One thing about all that, there's only 2 guys in the ring. And only one can win is one of them. Mayweather just can't seem to figure out. He's supposed to have a disadvantage, but he's having to be the aggressor. Does not like being the aggressor, Mayweather.
You wonder why he has taken this tack. Maybe he just wants to keep Castillo on his heels so that he just doesn't come at him in waves.
Castillo's not interested in being the aggressor at this point. Takes one step forward and stays right there.
Perhaps hoping to counter Mayweather with an uppercut as he comes in.
Exactly. Looking to counter himself.
But as you pointed out in the last fight, George, this idea of countering the counterpuncher can be a fool's paradise.
No, don't do that. You just jump on it.
Some blood coming out of Castillo's nose.
From a left hand by Mayweather. And another one by Floyd to punctuate the first round. As we go to the corner of Jose Luis Castillo, where they speak Spanish, our interpreter.
We'll see if it is something wrong with it. He seems to be rotating it, try to keep it loose.
Massage my left shoulder, he said. That's not a good sign.
Jose Luis Castillo threw only 27 punches in the first round and landed only 3. So even though Floyd Mayweather wasn't terribly active, throwing only 39 punches, he had the edge, and there he knocks Castillo down, but Vic Drakulich rules it a slip because Mayweather's foot was on Castillo's foot.
I couldn't tell exactly what happened there. The appearance was that Castillo, in jumping back, tripped over his feet.
See whether Mayweather thinks he has Castillo hurt. And now a butt. And Floyd Mayweather catches it just above the left eye.
There may be blood.
He's looking for blood. There doesn't seem to be any quite yet.
Slight cut, it'll be all right. Ready?
Slight cut, it'll be all right, says Drakulich. You heard it there.
Guess it's important that he said it was a cut and it was a butt. That's how you change things with a boxer. Get out there and do something that they haven't practiced doing.
You know, yesterday we spent 30 minutes with Floyd Mayweather, and he barely mentioned Jose Luis Castillo, preferring to spend most of the time talking about money, fame, promotion, exposure, and subjects like that. The last fighter who came into a fighter meeting and talked that way was Shane Mosley before his fight with Vernon Forrest in New York. And in the second round of that fight, Mosley was cut over the eye when he was butted by Forrest. So we have a couple of strange coincidences already, which may or may not mean anything.
Mayweather started switch hitting. He turned from southpaw, then again. When you start doing those things, you're setting yourself up for a butt.
We knew Castillo wanted to catch Mayweather with something coming up from underneath. Just thought it might be an uppercut instead of a butt.
You get a guy complaining about a cut or a butt, that's when you're supposed to jump on him. You're not supposed to wait around and let him get himself together.
Castillo hasn't jumped on anybody yet.
He's allowed the guy to get himself together.
Perfect counter right hand by Mayweather as Castillo came in. Mayweather. Go ahead.
Still was able to go on top of Mayweather's jab this time. That's what you want to do. If a guy's jabbing, you throw the right hand right on top.
Castillo's aggression mounting just slightly in round 2, but 2 interesting incidents there. Castillo went down. It wasn't
That Castillo tripped over his own legs as he was moving away.
Mayweather's corner told him to keep that jab working. That's what you got to do. When you don't know what else to do, keep jabbing. And find yourself in the middle of the ring. Don't stay away from the ropes.
Mostly jabs landed so far. Only 14 power shots landed by the both fighters combined, or the two fighters combined in the first two rounds. And you heard Roger Mayweather say, keep him in front of a jab. Mayweather jabbing to the body now.
Which is brave considering he just got butted. In the jab, you got to put your head down, and that's when those guys can really get you.
Okay, keep it clean.
First three-punch combination Castillo has attempted. Mayweather mostly one punch at a time so far.
Back to the body with the jab, which is good. This fight is going to go beyond 7 rounds. Those body punches are really going to count for something. Take the power away from your stronger opponent.
Yeah, but knowing Floyd, he's not really trying to punish the guy to the body, George. He's trying to set something else up.
No, but when you go to the body, whether you want to punish them or not, it affects it. It has great effect on it. That's why the corner will tell you to go to the body, jab him to the body.
I say break, listen.
Because the fighters don't like it.
Break!
Floyd Patterson, if he jabbed you to the body a couple of times, you can believe he was getting ready to throw that leaping left hook.
On the rare occasions when Roy Jones uses the jab, it's more often to the body than to the head. There's Mayweather upstairs with the jab. Pop, pop. Castillo trying to trap him.
Back to the stomach with that jab. That's an excellent idea. And this is when Mayweather's really fighting his fight. When he can go to the body and make you follow him around.
Castillo manages to dig a left hand to the body. And now pops a right hand upstairs as Mayweather is backed against the ropes. It's abundantly clear Castillo has no chance in the center of the ring. He's got to back Floyd up against the rope.
That's what he's got to do, and he's doing a good job of it. You just can't throw the punches hard when you have him against the rope. You're going to miss. You got to take the power off and get the accuracy in.
In this round, Castillo gathering effect in forcing Mayweather against the ropes. This Monday.
Going for Mayweather than he anticipated.
Well, he's in with a solid fighter, and you're just not going to be able to hit Castillo with just anything, and that's bothering him.
Well, they were under the impression that this was an easy target. His trainer, his uncle, said, look, if you throw a beer bottle into the ring, it's going to hit Castillo somehow. He's not that open.
Mayweather's doing the counter right hand, which is good. You make the guy stop and wonder before he throws his left jab.
Round 4 of a scheduled 12. Harold, how do you have it through 3?
Okay, Jim. 2 rounds to 1. 29-28. Pretty boy Floyd Mayweather. Jim, in rounds 1 and 2, I thought Floyd easily outboxed him. Jose Luis Castillo didn't do enough. By the way, that knockdown in the second round, extremely questionable. I thought Floyd did throw a left hook, and this guy went down on the end of the hook. But what are you going to do? It's a judgment call by the referee, so it doesn't go as a 10-8 round. In the third round, Jose Luis Castillo did nail Floyd Mayweather when Floyd went up on the ropes. 2 rounds to 1, Mayweather.
The lightweight average for punch output would be around 60 punches a round. These guys are throwing between 30 and 40 punches per round. So they are picking their spots very sparingly so far. Now the action begins to heat up just a little bit in round 4.
Mayweather seeks to get close, get his right hand right above his chin, and his left hand close to his waist so he can do his thing. He's not been able to do that yet. That's what he's trying to do. Get a little close. Make his opponent stop throwing shots.
Keep that head up. Watch pushing down.
Those left jabs to the body early was working good for Mayweather. Now he's stopped.
Yeah, I know. Stop! Stop! I'm not going to tell you again. When I say stop punching, okay? Keep that head up.
Mayweather's going southpaw again.
You know, Castillo's trying to make a brawl out of it, which is what he is supposed to do.
Mayweather shooting a right uppercut as Castillo stepped by.
And that's when you've got a butt already. You don't want to turn southpaw too much. Cut by a butt.
Now Drakulich telling Castillo not to hold. He's already warned him about punching after the break.
Good uppercut.
And in terms of style, a good round for Jose Luis Castillo. As more and more he lures Mayweather into something messier and more ragged than a boxing match.
By inflicting enough damage in the next few rounds so that he can do more damage in the later rounds of the fight. He's not scoring enough himself.
And that's the point when you get rough and get all entangled like that, you don't land, you don't get any points in. You got to make certain that you've gotten points in, then you start in.
I can't imagine he thinks he's going to win a decision from Floyd Mayweather. I think he's looking for something else.
Mayweather's getting sharper and sharper and closer with that right hand. The only hope with a master boxer is that he gets tired.
Here's a ripping left out of that southpaw stance by Floyd. Now he turns back around to the conventional stance. Castillo reaching with a looping left hook.
If you can't get them tired, you got a rough night ahead of you. The way to do that is keep a body punch on them at all times. Jab into the body, slap into the body.
Almost impossible for Castillo to land 2 or 3 punches in a row. Mayweather's so quick and elusive. Doesn't mean that Castillo shouldn't try to throw 2 or 3 or 4 punches in a row.
You just got to do it, because if you can throw one shot, you can throw 2 if you're just not leaning, lunging forward. Get him against the ropes and go for it.
Mayweather popping Castillo with a little uppercut to make space and get away. Castillo more and more just wading in, getting close at any cost so that he can try to bully Floyd.
Vernon Forrest said after his great victory over Shane Mosley that the way to beat speed is with a jab, and Castillo does not have a jab that is very effective.
What Forrest did to Mosley, when Vernon talks, we listen. That was quite a show. Hard right hand to the body by Castillo.
You see, the body, he moves all he wants, but the body is going to stay right in front of him. Just throw for the body. That's what Castillo should be doing. Throw to the body.
Like all of Mayweather's opponents, Castillo said, I'm going to pressure it. Few have succeeded to the degree to which Castillo has succeeded so far. Doesn't necessarily mean he's winning the fight.
Mayweather's smiling, that means something went wrong.
And Mayweather giving dap to Castillo via the glove to try to let him know that he thinks it's him.
Switching to southpaw, you're beating him with conventional style.
First CompuBox number to really stick out so far. Power shots in round 5. Castillo 15 out of 30. Mayweather 7 out of 13. And you see that Harold Letterman gave the last round to Castillo. Fight getting closer now as we reach the 6th out of 12. Here comes that USA chant again. Floyd must feel like he's back at the Olympics.
That has a lot of effect on the opponents too, because Castillo was expecting a big turnout for himself, but there's a good crowd out there cheering for Mayweather. His corner told him to keep the left jab going, burst him up. Keep the left jab on him. He's doing a good job of it now.
Hold on. Let's go.
Incidentally, going back to our pre-fight feature, and there's a hard straight right hand by Castillo against the ropes.
There's those punches that hurt Mayweather's hand. Start throwing him on top.
Good left hook to the head by Mayweather. I was just about to say the good news, George, is that we're into the 6th round and there's absolutely no sign of any hand difficulty for Mayweather so far.
Stop punching.
This is the round he started to throw more to the top of the head, which you got to be careful of.
It's the top of the head and the elbows where the danger lies.
That's true. And when it hurt, he said the first time it happened to him, he never experienced that kind of pain. Now, if it happens again, he got an advantage. He knows what it's all about. It'll pass.
Castillo banging to the body. Mayweather goes down. Drakulich rules no knockdown.
Watch out,
Mayweather is complaining of low blows.
Well, he's got a lot to complain about as Castillo continues to turn this into a barroom brawl.
And that's what you got to do if you want to beat Mayweather. Keep this thing at a brawl. You're not going to win a boxing match with Mayweather. You got to push. You got to shell.
Good counter left hand by Mayweather as Castillo stalked him into the corner. Castillo lands a straight left and backs Mayweather into the ropes. Floyd punching back. Another good round as the fight continues to grow in intensity. Overall, Castillo landed 24 punches in the round, doubling Mayweather's CompuBox estimate, and among them 19 out of 29 power shots. Big round for Jose Luis Castillo. Harold, how do you have the fight scored halfway through?
Okay, Jim, I think the champion, Jose Luis Castillo, certainly caught up in rounds 5 and 6. Without question, the first 4 rounds were dominated by Mayweather. I gave Castillo the third, but in rounds 5 and 6, Jose Luis Castillo seemed to take over simply because Floyd Mayweather laid on the ropes and let Castillo, who's up 2 divisions, basically the welterweight, just stand there and hammer Floyd. Floyd's got to stay off those ropes or Castillo's just going to hurt him.
I have it 4 rounds to 2 for Mayweather.
They're back in the center of the ring momentarily, and now Castillo pounds Mayweather back into the corner with a hard right hand shot to the body. Floyd still throwing upstairs, lands a straight right hand, but Castillo's good chin is showing up.
That's when those extra pounds start to work against you. When you start being hit in the body by those extra hard 9 pounds. Mayweather shouldn't allow himself to be hit in the body.
So what you're saying is that Mayweather has gotten into the kind of fight where Castillo's 9-pound weight advantage could be a factor.
It could be a factor because he's allowing him to hit him in the side and in the chest. It takes everything away from you. Your corner can't tell you to do anything because you don't have the stamina anymore.
Well, Stevie Johnson said that since he became champion, he thought that Castillo was fighting better than he ever had before. He's a big, strong lightweight, and Mayweather has all he can handle.
Vivid contrast here in round 7. Jose Luis Castillo throwing virtually every punch to the body. There's one upstairs that misses, but he landed several body shots before that. Floyd Mayweather working exclusively upstairs. What must Floyd do, George, to be sure of keeping the fight in the center of the ring?
He's got to keep his jab working constantly. The fight goes to the ropes, turn and run back to the middle of the ring. That's what he's got to do. He just can't slide back because this guy beat you. Right now, hold him and move to the ropes. He's pushing him off, which is no good.
It's It's a classic territorial imperative fight. When they're in the center of the ring, Floyd Mayweather has the big advantage. When they get to the ropes, Castillo is increasingly dominant.
He knows exactly what to do. Evidently, he's practiced. That's when you're supposed to throw the fastball. Mayweather slides along the ropes. He should go right back to the middle of the ring.
Little change up now as Castillo begins to go upstairs. Hard right hand by Castillo.
Now we have a hold on.
Another big round for the champion. Hour punches through round 7 by CompuBox estimate. Jose Luis Castillo landing 75 power shots to only 30 for Mayweather. Castillo throwing more than twice as many.
3 body punches in a row by Castillo.
Increasingly, it appears if Floyd's going to win the fight, he'll have to do it with his jab.
Mayweather's starting to try to exchange power in the middle of the ring. That's where he's got some effect on
You know, it's interesting, George, that Mayweather isn't using his jab as much as you would think he would. Why do you think that is?
Just doesn't have the confidence. Even when he had a lot of strength in the earlier rounds, he would sparingly use it. Just doesn't have the confidence in the left jab. And you got to have confidence. Can't do it if you don't believe in it. Castillo is allowing Mayweather to stay in the middle of the ring. That's not good for him.
Now he's starting to pepper Castillo with his jab.
He goes along the ropes. He should come right back to the middle, Mayweather. Fighting with his eyes now. Mayweather's watching his opponent. Watches his hands, his eyes.
Merchant mentioned earlier that Jose Luis Castillo spent 5 years as a sparring partner for the great Julio Cesar Chavez. Yesterday, I asked Castillo if he remembered as a teenager watching Chavez's fight with Meldrick Taylor, the classic fight in which Taylor dominated for 9 rounds, and Chavez ultimately caught him with power shots to the body, knocked him out with 2 seconds to go. Castillo smiled and said, "That's exactly the blueprint. I'm just not going to wait until the last 2 seconds." Increasingly, this fight begins to mimic Taylor Chavez as Castillo's body shots slow Mayweather down. Another hard right hand to the body by Castillo. Mayweather working the jab, trying to reestablish tactical command. Remember that Floyd Mayweather's 130-pound world championship is not at stake here. So if he were to lose in this bid for the lightweight title, he remains the champion at his perhaps more natural weight class.
He's managed to make Castillo slow up a little bit.
Drakulich removes a point.
I say break, you don't throw the last break.
Big moment. Big moment in a close fight.
That's what you want a referee to do.
I feel this referee has been altogether too involved in the fight, too officious.
That's what prompted the deduction.
Time!
Mayweather only threw 4 power punches by CompuBox numbers in the 8th round. Question, is his right hand hurting him?
Mayweather loved the old rope-a-dope, if you know what I mean. Allow a guy to keep hitting you until you get your strength and he loses his.
There's the right hand by Mayweather. Perfect counter shot as Castillo came in.
Now, why was the referee in there breaking them up? They had broken themselves up and they were ready to keep fighting.
Watch it. Calm it down now. Calm it down. Let's box. Let's go.
What do you mean, calm it down? It's a fight. Referees telling 2 fighters who want to fight to calm it down? He should calm down. Nobody paid to see this referee.
I'm with you, Larry.
You better be a referee and get those guys managed well, because I can see something brewing here. The referee also.
Well, whatever's brewing, George, I want to see it brew over.
And you end up with a disqualification.
Hard body shot by Castillo right on the belt line of Mayweather. Point deduction isn't going to stop Castillo from doing the only thing he can do to win the fight, which is to drive Floyd back into the ropes and keep trying to pound him.
Watch all of them. Good job. All right.
Mayweather's having a rough time dealing with this strong Castillo.
Yeah, and I think he underestimated him. I think they were under the impression this was a guy who would move straight into him and be easy to pop shoot.
That's the trouble. He moves his head as he comes in.
After using his right hand only sparingly in the 8th, Floyd Mayweather threw 2 big right hands early in this round and has not unleashed it since.
And keep in mind that the aggressor throughout primarily has been Castillo. If it's a close fight, that could mean the difference.
Mayweather keeps moving along the ropes rather than going to the middle of the ring.
And even as you talk about Castillo being the aggressor, Larry, I can just hear the viewers in the audience thinking, well, wait a minute. Mayweather is promoted by the local promoter and lives in Las Vegas. If there's a close fight, maybe that could make the difference.
I'm enjoying this fight too much to have to deal with that right now, Jim.
But there's only one Las Vegas judge among the 3. One from England, one from Thailand.
The good thing about Mayweather, he's been able to get those jabs to the body in the earlier rounds. So Castillo's throwing a lot of power shots. Just couldn't wear him down as far as power. Those few magic punches in the earlier rounds can really help you if the fight continues rough like this. Take a score, take a point, take a point. We should have taken a point from him.
He's thinking of it.
Not the sort of punch that Mayweather generally accepts.
That was pretty smart by Mayweather. He came out and met Castillo before he could jump on him. That's smart.
3 rounds of drama upcoming in Floyd Mayweather's so far unbeaten and spectacular career. Harold Letterman, how do you have it scored through 9?
You know, Jim, that point that Vic Drakulich took away for hitting on a break, I tell you honestly, that could be the difference in this fight. It really could. In any case, 4-4, 1 even. I got it 85 to 85. I got it all even. You know, for 4 rounds, 5, 6, 7, and 8, I was watching Floyd Mayweather fight a desperation fight. It wasn't ring generalship. He was running away, you know, taking shots at Castillo, but Castillo was hammering him. Just the aggressor, as Larry called it, and Castillo was just whacking him with good shots. Pick him up by the ropes and hit him. But in the 10th round, for some crazy reason, Jose Luis Castillo seemed to slow down, just like he is here, and Floyd outpunched him.
Mayweather's starting to open up with his right hand now. 1, 2, 1, 2.
Yeah, back to throwing the right hand after throwing it so sparingly in the 8th and 9th rounds.
Let me tell you, I don't care how tough you are, you can't keep getting hit with good straight hands by Mayweather like that, right hands like that.
Mayweather jabbing to the body again, an effective tactic earlier in the fight. Right hand over the top by Castillo, misses with the left uppercut, goes to the body, Mayweather flicking in, Castillo with the hardest shots against the ropes.
He's walking right into Mayweather's hook. Mayweather's got an excellent left hook. Just can't walk into it, you got to bob and weave before you go there.
Drakulich allows Castillo to pound Mayweather in the back.
Now that is strange.
That was unbelievable.
Referee's gotten confused there.
Stop! Stay off the head, stay off the head, keep the head up, let's go! Stop! I'm going to tell you last time for pushing off, last time.
Warning Mayweather for pushing off. And shy about pushing off, Mayweather takes a series of big shots against the ropes.
He's walking right into Mayweather's hook. His right hand.
Neutral corner. Neutral corner. One point. One point. One point. One point. Watch that elbow. Let's go. Watch.
So there goes the point deduction advantage as now Drakulich evens it up by taking one from Mayweather.
That could be a 10-8 round for the champ. He has repeatedly warned Mayweather about that. Roger Mayweather told his nephew that he now has to stand and punch and move out against Castillo, which indicates that Roger thinks this is a very close fight, and that Floyd Mayweather Jr. has to land some meaningful punches in the next 2 rounds.
Tremendous sense of urgency on Mayweather's face. Castillo got away with a couple of shots below the belt. Power punches in round 10 by CompuBox numbers. Castillo landed 25 to only 8 for Floyd Jr. Floyd Mayweather expected this to be a royal coronation. Step up into the lightweight class, add another championship. Jose Luis Castillo didn't see it that way.
His corner has told Mayweather to sit down on these punches. So you got to dig in and throw a hard shot every now and then. I think that Castillo is ready if he can get in a straight right hand now.
Castillo is much more effective at close quarters, landing many body blows at close quarters, where Mayweather is merely content to block shots.
And Floyd hasn't used his feet effectively with any consistency over the course of the last 6 rounds.
Castillo now has dictated the terms of the fight. Mayweather is fighting Castillo's fight because he has to.
Well, Mayweather like to get in there and mix it up like that at some point of the fight. He like to stand there and just let the guy shoot.
I think
and
that
wait for a shot. He loves that.
That's to his credit.
He loves it, Mayweather does.
Yeah, that's to his credit. He knows what he has to do, and he's trying to do it right here.
Brilliant flurry by Mayweather there.
This is not instigated by Castillo. This is instigated by Mayweather.
Absolutely, and there's a brilliant left-right combination there. And another combination. And Floyd Mayweather suddenly giving as good as he's getting.
The only thing is those extra 9 pounds that you bumping up against, that can wreck you.
Yes, and as Castillo leans on him, you wonder if Floyd's legs will hold up.
If you see Castillo take a backward step, then you know that Floyd Mayweather's won a battle of such.
Body shots by Castillo. Tough round to score. Flurries by both fighters. Close
Mayweather is not Mayweather's not backing up at all.
This gives you an idea of the versatility of Mayweather, who can box and move, and now he is standing and delivering and taking.
Good body punches by Castillo.
Come back by Mayweather. If Floyd Mayweather wins this fight, that may be seen as
let me have that towel.
rounds in his career.
This last round coming up. Ya sé. Está cabeza con cabeza, tienes que ganar la tirada.
Mosley in the last year, is this yet another one?
CompuBox numbers in round 11. Castillo 35 out of 68. Mayweather 20 out of 50. Hard round to score. Mayweather's punching very effective down the stretch of the round. Harold Letterman, how do you have it coming to 12?
Okay, Jim. 105, 102, 6-4, 1 even. Jose Luis Castillo. I think that Floyd Mayweather is just fighting this guy's fight. Jose Luis Castillo, the bigger, harder puncher. I think he's getting the best of Floyd Mayweather. Certainly that round 10, just as he called it, was a 10-8 round when Vic Drakulich took the point away from Mayweather for using his elbow. Jose Luis Castillo, 6-4, 1 even.
Well, the point makes itself. At least on Harold's scorecard, Mayweather would need a knockout to win.
I have it a little closer by 1 round, 1 point. But I have Castillo winning. And he is the champion. A draw. If there were a draw, he would keep his title.
It already happened to Castillo once when he got a draw against Stevie Boston. 2 more low blows for Castillo, and both of them effective, and he gets away with it.
Mayweather's leaping in with the strong left hook. Should have done that a little earlier. But this guy can take a punch, Castillo.
Yeah, Castillo's chin is
Castillo
in the fight.
Takes a good shot. He's been tested here this fight. He's been able to absorb a lot of left hooks.
And land a few.
And he's keeping the fight coming. He's not backing up.
Castillo showing stamina and strength.
He's a champion fighting like the challenger. Jose Luis Castillo took a major payday. The assumption was he was selling his title. He is here to show that he is here to keep his title.
He's earned it tonight. He's taken everything Mayweather had and gave him something.
They called him Pretty Boy Floyd, and he rapidly became the most celebrated member of the 1996 American Olympic team after entering the pro ranks. First one to win a championship, 27-0 coming into today. Regarded himself as one of the very top pound-for-pound fighters in the world. Did he bite off more than he could chew? Did he underestimate the difficulty of moving up in weight against a tough veteran champion who knew how to come in and make Floyd Mayweather fight his fight? Who will the judges choose in this rousing battle in Las Vegas?
The way it's supposed to be. I thought Castillo retained his title.
It looked to me like he did enough in the 10th, 11th, and 12th rounds. If the fight was hanging in the balance, Castillo remained the aggressor down the stretch.
Harold Letterman, the greatest judge of all. We are just pawns.
2 key junctures late in the fight. And John Keane from England, Jerry Roth of Las Vegas, who is regarded as a judge who favors the aggressor. Let's go to Michael Buffer for the official results.
Ladies and gentlemen, here at the MGM Grand in Las Vegas, we go to the Budweiser scorecards. John Kane and Jerry Roth both have it 115 to 111. Enek Hongtongkam scores it 116 to 111 for the winner by unanimous decision and new lightweight champion of the world, the undefeated Pretty Boy